you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, we technology is so much fun, especially when you're working with new technology.
Yes. So I'm
So
kind of been dealing with the format here, and it's been driving me crazy.
ruling.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So let's. So how was your week? What anything new?
How was my week? Was anything new? Well, I'm still working on my next book. I've got my designer on the cover, which is great. Had a little time to have some fun at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. That was fun. Um, yeah, my husband's getting better and better after his back surgery. The weather's getting a little bit cooler here, thank goodness. Bring it on. And yeah, obladi, oblada, life goes on.
Life goes on. Okay.
What about you?
So it's been uh had an interesting conversation with Tracy Edwards from Unstuck. Pretty
Nice.
good. Yeah, I wrote a story about her, so we should have that. I think that's going to be November the 5th. I'll publish that one. I've been working on a couple other things here and there, trying to get myself organized for the future here because I know we got a lot of things coming up that is going to I hope,
Yes.
makes everybody happy. And family life has been challenging at times, but it's also been rewarding. So, other than that, this
Well,
is good.
good.
So, so we're excited to have our guest here, right? She is going to talk to you about your spoons. Hopefully, she can resolve those issues with you.
Hey, it's just one spoon. Like for anybody who didn't see our last episode, I talk about what my favorite spoon is. It's only one spoon. If you didn't see it, guess what would be my favorite spoon. You know me, I can be random, but I like to mix it up
Yeah.
and have some fun. Yeah. So
Okay.
right in. Let me know what you think my favorite spoon is.
So Jennifer is coming in. One of the things met her through Substack, and one of the
Yes.
things that taught me was her story about the tree. And I read about her
Yeah.
story, and it was a poem that she wrote. And then she did a follow up and was published on I think Saturday or yesterday, I can't
Hmm,
remember,
hmm.
and that was well written too. So I'm excited about that. Was a good, well written story. So I'm excited to bring her on.
Is she going to
So
talk about her
let's
tree
bring her.
story? Since we love her tree story
Yeah,
so much, I hope so.
of course. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about anything else, and yeah, let's want to dive in.
I'm ready. If you're ready, I'm
Okay,
ready. Let's do this.
all right. Let's see how this works. I don't know.
Ta-da!
Hey, there you go.
Hi. Hi, I'm
How
here.
are you?
She's there.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, you're welcome. We're excited to have you. We are doing this different format than we did last week. I didn't want to do this, but it's okay. It is what it is. We're gonna roll with it. You know, I gotta yell at the producer here.
Who might that
Yeah,
be?
yeah. So Jennifer, we were just talking about your story and how we got connected.
Yeah.
Do you want what captivated me about your story was how you just let it as a different perspective and how that you resonated with that. And sometimes I'm a big believer that, you know, Mother Nature's a great place for energy and
Yeah.
for healing and
Hmm.
all that. And we were raised, especially coming from Vancouver, Canada, you were raised to go out in the forest and actually hug a tree.
Mm.
Because
Yes, I have tree
it's
hugging
true.
pictures.
It's a true story. And you were literally put out in the middle of the forest and basically hug trees and learn to live with nature and be part of nature and all that. So,
We
but I
love
think
that.
well, I live on the East Coast now, and that's not really a norm per
Yeah,
se.
not
Uh,
at all.
no, that's not it. So tell us okay, one of the things I really want to talk about is when you met that tree. Now, you talked about that in your story, but what was your initial response to that tree when you approached it?
That
Like,
okay, so that tree, if no one has seen, if you haven't seen it, had this very facial. It just looked like a face in a tree, and it was kind of scarred into the tree. And so my initial reaction was like, "Wow, it looks unhappy."
Oh,
And then I kind of started thinking, like, how could this tree be unhappy? And how could a tree be unhappy? But it's surrounded by all these people, or not people, supportive other trees, and their roots are interconnected. And I thought about like the parallel to people, and yeah, it just kind of got me writing about our own scars and how that kind of shows up, and how we do have community support. And yeah, so out churned the poem. I just, yeah.
yeah,
are
community
you like a
connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
The roots are all
so are
intertwined with trees,
yes.
Yeah, and they are. They kind of hold it up, and none of them fall because they're all kind of connected to these other trees in the system. And so, yeah, got me thinking there's a lot of parallels with humans.
Isn't there a book about roots? I forgot. Isn't there one about that all roots are connected?
Oh, I don't know.
Hmm.
There was a book. There's a book out there, and I don't remember it off the top of my head, but there is a book out there that talks about all roots are connected.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
I didn't know that.
Basically, all souls are
I
connected.
love that.
So
I believe that. We're
Yeah.
all connected
yeah.
by energy. Yep.
Mhm.
So
Well,
we kind of dived in right away. So can you just kind of give a little bit of your background on what you're doing, who you're about, and all that? I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's kind of complicated, so I'll try to I'll try to be succinct and not
yeah,
like twisty turny. But like a lot of people I've connected with on Substack, I have a separate career. So writing isn't my career. I've kind of stumbled into writing, and I'd like to make it a career, more of a career. But I am for the past few decades, I have been a behavior analyst, and I went to school and I learned a lot about this science and philosophy. It's a type of psychology. So now I'm a psychologist. I work primarily with people with autism. Um,
hmm.
and so I went to school. I did the whole like master's, PhD, postdoc, was trying like on this track to be a professor, and had kind of my life planned out. And then my dad got sick, and I moved home to take care of him. And
Hmm.
once you get out of academia, I had a couple offers, and I've been pretty lucky, but I'm here now. And so it's hard to get a position that's like right in your niche area, um, without having to move across the country again. So I've kind of stayed here and gotten back into clinical work. And that's kind of when I found writing, and been doing a lot of soul work. You mentioned soul work, so I'm happy to talk about that too.
yeah.
But I see writing as part of my soul work, and that's kind of what I'm doing. And I mentioned to you in an email that I have a lot of different writing projects because I like to just write. And so like new things will just keep popping up, and I'm like, oh, another project, great. But so yeah, that's kind of my journey, is like navigating my day job, having this writing dream on the side, and like, can I ever transition to that? I don't know. But that's where I am right now. Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
to
I
kind of
found it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
quickly, how's your dad doing?
My dad is good now. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yay.
asked.
Love to hear that. Well, and
Yeah.
I found it really interesting when I was looking on your bio on Instagram, and actually that you gave to John and me. So you've got three publications, and Everyday Behaviorist is your primary publication.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that true? And then
That,
you've got Behavior Curious. I mean, I read that and I was like, yes, yes. I try to be a student of my own behavior, and that automatically makes me a student of others' behavior. But
yeah.
sometimes we don't have any control of that, so we know that. And then the other publication, this is cool, and I would love you to elaborate. Operant Spirituality.
Yeah. Thank you for thinking that's cool.
It's very cool.
So that is where I kind of there's a lot of connections between radical behaviorism, which I know is kind of an off-putting word or set of words, but it's basically the philosophy of like behavior and why we do the things we do. And there's a lot of similarities between that philosophy and like Eastern spirituality. And I've been a yogi for the past 20 years. And so recently I've kind of just been exploring some of those similarities. Some of my colleagues are interested in it too. And so I was like, oh, I'll just on Substack, maybe I'll write about it occasionally. So that's just the place where I kind of muse on spiritual things. I put some poetry, some Eastern spirituality quotes, and kind of just,
Love that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where we connect because I follow Buddhist, Taoist, and Shintoist philosophy, and I have for
Oh,
decades.
love it.
So, yeah, love it. Right, and the fact you're a yogi too. Are
Yeah.
you practicing on your own? Are you teaching? Are
I
you?
used to,
What do you?
yeah, I used to teach concurrently while like separate with grad school and then
Mm,
teaching. And but now I live in the middle of nowhere now, and so there's not any studios that are close by. So I just do a home
oh,
practice. And honestly, I've kind of fallen out of my home practice. I keep trying to get back into it, but it's hard at home to motivate yourself to, well, me anyway, to stay consistent. And but I meditate a lot.
yeah.
That it's kind of shifted more towards yin yoga and meditation.
Love it. Oh, yin is so, yeah, I love yin yoga. And me being a master meditation teacher and teacher
Oh,
trainer and also a qigong teacher,
wow.
all of that
I didn't know all of
really
that.
yeah resonates with me. Yeah, I'm
Amazing.
third level qigong, and I try to keep up my practice in qigong too, just for my own personal edification and just to keep up, to keep up with it. You never
Right.
know when you might be called.
Right.
Hello, could you come? Because the last time I taught publicly right before COVID was in a young men's detention facility, and that was
Oh,
incredibly rewarding, and it was kind of a hard act to follow. I had some really amazing young men who were students, and then COVID and everything went online.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
really
So
cool.
what? Please go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna ask you more about Qigong.
Oh, hey, well, offline we'll chitty chatty about it, but this is all about you. I really want to know more about you and how you're finding your writing on Substack. Are you finding that you're gathering an audience? And are you okay? Are you doing notes and articles and video?
Um,
I've mostly only seen notes and articles.
yeah, I haven't done much video yet. I've just kind of been on a couple live events and this now. Um,
Yay!
yay! So I was thinking of adding more video. Somebody suggested that. But yeah, so my writing, I'm finding that it was very hard for me to niche down. So the fact that I have those separate
Mm.
publications was something big for me because I was like, I have too many different avenues and things that I write about. So when I finally found those other kind of those publications, I was like, okay, I can commit to these topics. But then everyday behaviorist is kind of my grab bag. And yeah, I do mix notes and posts, and sometimes I don't really know the line between them. Notes
Oh,
are notes are just so easy, and so if like I get inspired to write something, I'm just like and I just write it, and then I'm like, oh, that could have been a post. But yeah,
well, it's easy. It's so
yeah,
easy. Instead of setting anything up, you just click the plus sign,
yeah,
choose notes, and then you can just.
you just
Whereas
go.
articles, yeah, articles take more work, and uh,
Hmm.
I think notes are great for either for video and for just something quick you want to get out, maybe a
Yeah,
quick poem or a quick thought. I mean, John is really great at that, where he'll have a beautiful
yeah,
picture and something that has come to his mind that's really salient. He'll pop it on there and get a lot of really positive responses to
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
yeah,
He's really good at those.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, he is. So what is in your work, and are we your inaugural podcast? Is this your
I
first?
I You're my second, so I did
Okay.
one before this, but yeah,
Oh, well,
it's
good. So
still pretty
maybe, I
fresh.
mean, I love hosting a podcast very much. I also love being a guest. So maybe this will help, kick off you doing more guest spots.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
So is there any question that you would have loved to have answered on what you do to give a little bit more insight into what you do and who you are that no one has ever asked you?
Oh, that's a really good question. Um, is there a question I haven't been asked? I really
That you'd
can't
love
think.
that someone knew about you, about your history or
Your spoon.
your study or
Oh gosh, I
sorry.
really what was that, John?
Spoons. Do you have any spoons to share?
No one has ever asked me if I have a favorite spoon.
That's become a thing. I was so random last week. I was looking into my cutlery drawer and I'm like, I really love this spoon. I wonder if other people think about spoons like I do. And obviously they don't. So,
I do have a favorite spoon. It is made of pottery and it matches a cup that I have.
oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah. And no
See,
one has asked me
John,
that, so that's perfect.
it's not such a random question after all.
It's not, it's not.
Like our guy.
I love those pottery spoons you use with tea,
Mhm,
or your coffee or your espresso or something.
mhm. It's
So
perfect
yes.
measure for honey.
Oh yeah, you're right, exactly.
Mhm, mhm.
So you're not I guess came right out of the box, out of the starting blocks asking you a tough question. What question haven't you been asked that you'd love to answer? Or what would what has not been, have you not been able to reveal or share about yourself
Okay, well,
that you'd love for people to know?
yeah, so one thing I wrote in the post yesterday where I finally talked about the origins of that poem that John
Yes.
found, was that my hand. So my right hand,
Oh yeah.
I was born with amniotic band syndrome. And the
Mm.
fact that I'm holding this up and not like sweating and really nervous inside right now is really something. So, yeah, that was kind of like a few years ago when just everything happened. And I started being like, hey, you know, a lot of things about this very unique discipline of psychology, start applying it to yourself in different ways. That was one thing I started to do was like, okay, I could be more open about my hand. Like, why am I spending all this time and energy putting it in my pocket, hiding it, carrying things funny? Like, there was just so much in my life where I was uncomfortable about it. And that was one of the big
Oh.
first things I was like, okay, like let's do some exposure therapy. Carry 2 drinks across the restaurant and just do it. You can do it. You're not going to die. And I did it. And it
Oh.
was a big, like, that was like my first big moment. Yeah. And people looked and
Wow.
I was like sweating and I got to my partner and I like started crying and he was like, what are you crying about?
My hand.
And so I explained, but yeah, so like after that's something I haven't been able to talk about, and I've written a lot about that.
So
Would
can
you
we dive
care to
in?
share?
Can I ask a
Could you,
question? Was
Yeah,
I
this
want to know
something?
about her hand. I want to,
Yeah, was
because I'm
this
sure you're not
something?
the only person on the planet.
yeah,
No.
I'm definitely not. No, I'm
Was this
not.
something that happened as a child, or is this developed over or how did
Um,
this started?
yeah, in vitro. So it's amniotic band syndrome is when the placentic bands split apart inside and they just kind of float around and they can wrap around. They usually wrap around limbs and obstruct growth. So, um,
Oh.
So was your childhood, were you kind of like traumatized a little bit as a child?
Yeah,
And you're kind of
in
like,
a lot of ways, and because everyone was like, "Oh, it's not a big deal," but then it was a big deal to me, and so it was a lot of invalidating my experience of everything. And there's like a lot of little things you don't think of using your hand publicly, sports, writing, arts and crafts, like cutting. Like there's just a lot of little things that I would get very nervous, and I had a lot of like childhood anxiety. And that,
Hmm.
and how that affected you, like with studies and like in developing relationships, where you're always like the last in per se, or were you kind of like, because I don't take you as a very aggressive person, personality
yeah,
wise, not in a not a
Yeah.
negative, but like you were not a forward personality. So were you a lot more reserved and shy and kind of like, or was that intentional, or was that, how was that to you?
Yeah, I was kind of shy. I don't know if it was intentional, like I don't know if I wanted to be more open and I wasn't. I think I was just always kind of just a shy, quiet, introverted kind of kid. But then in my teenage years, I got kind of rowdy. I had a group of I had a group of friends and we got kind of, more boisterous.
Expressed yourself.
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah. And then in college, kind of backed off again, wasn't like the cool cat anymore. It didn't have like that group. So I don't, it kind of has ebbed and flowed. But in
But how did
terms
that,
of,
how
yeah,
does
go
that
ahead.
affect your adult? Like, how did that, having your hand the way it is and knowing it's there? Because really, if no one paid attention to it, they would not realize you had that,
Yeah, I
right?
know.
But I know
It's,
it's subconsciously you're always thinking about, because you say, "Oh, this is what I got," and I don't want to be exposed for it. Did that hindered you at all throughout your adult life, or
yeah,
is that something?
Mm.
And how
yeah,
did you overcome that,
it
other
did.
than just doing
My
the?
exposure therapy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think it has been a slow journey, even though I say like, okay, at one point I decided, let me work on this. It was probably over the course of years leading up to that. Cause like I did yoga and that was always a challenge, like going into the room and
Oh,
putting
yeah.
down in front of people. And so that was a little bit of exposure therapy before, but that was in a very contained situation. And so I got
Mm.
good with it there. But outside of there, it affected my life in a lot of ways, like handshakes. It, I
Yeah.
always got so uncomfortable. And finally, I learned somebody taught me the trick just like stare at people in their eyes and they won't look down. So I just stared at
Interesting.
intense eye contact. Yeah.
Squeeze their
Um,
hand as hard as you can.
Yeah. But then also like little choices like my career, like I was interested in science, but I couldn't hold like things and like in biology class when you would do the slides and stuff, and I couldn't hold things or put on gloves, and the gloves would really obstruct things. So like I could have maybe gone for a career in medicine. That's like I just didn't pursue any of that because of my
Was
hand.
it, so that's the physical setbacks you had, especially in yoga, because yoga has some major moves. You need both hands, balance, all that
Yeah.
kind of, like,
Yeah.
were you restricted in the physical sense on yoga, or you
I don't
no?
Yeah, not really. I'm kind of lucky to have movement between my fingers. Like some people's fingers are formed together, and some people don't have any. So I'm
And
lucky to have.
webbed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm lucky to have operable digits, and mostly in yoga, I haven't experienced any setbacks. But when it comes to like gloves, are still my nemesis. Like,
Especially when
wearing
doing those.
gloves, doing fine motor movement. My handwriting's atrocious. Things like that that are just.
Are you left-handed or right hand? Is that your left hand?
It's my right hand, and I'm actually
Oh, it's your right
right-handed.
hand, and
Yeah.
you're right-handed. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I eat with my left hand. I throw with my left hand. I do a lot. I compensate with my left hand a lot,
Okay.
but I write
Gotcha.
with my right hand.
But the most
Wow.
amazing thing is you became a yogi regardless.
Yeah.
You've been a teacher, you have your own practice. I
Yeah.
mean, you had the motivation and the determination and the desire that
Yeah.
I there's no reason why I cannot be a yogi. And
Yeah.
ta-da, you
Yeah.
know? It's and
Yeah.
that is really good inspiration to other people.
Thank you.
I would think. I would hope
I
that
hope.
people who are thinking, I've got this going on or that going on, I have this disability or I have this kind of circumstance where I'm limited. And wow, look what she did, and look where she's come, and look at the career she carved out for herself, and look at the writing she's doing. Why the heck can't I do that? Well, I can, and I'm going to. So
Yeah. Yeah.
along the way, you probably may not even know unless somebody's told you in person how you've inspired them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, thank you for that. I
Of
probably
course.
have.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure it has, because you've come across, I'm sure, lots and lots of people.
Yeah.
And for as maybe self-conscious as you were, uh, not not shrinking,
Yeah.
and just being completely 100% yourself has shown others, you know, I've got this too.
Yeah, I hope
Have
so.
you have you kind of gone over your fear of your disability, or is that still kind of?
It's still there a little bit in new situations. It's interesting for me to watch now how it will kind of show up. But like the other day, there was a big family picture, and there I was, putting my hand in my pocket again, and I was like, "Why'd you do that,
Oh,
Jennifer?" So it's still there, the anxiety or those habits, those longstanding
Yeah.
habits. But I'm more aware of them and not as anxious, like just overall, not as much like mental energy going to that. So that's good.
not
Okay.
focusing on it as and making it bigger than it needs to be for you,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, the
Mhm.
funny thing is, I have dyslexia, and I always have someone correcting my speech or my pronunciation of words. I've
Mm.
gotten to the point where I don't really care anymore. I
Mm.
just got to the point where, like, this is who I am. It is what
Yeah.
it is. You don't like it, oh well. I mean, I sometimes catch myself on spelling, or there's some post that I put on. And I was like, oh geez, I shouldn't put that. It doesn't make sense. Like delete it. But I don't really. It like I know my limitations and I understand it, so I don't really. It
Puppy.
doesn't. It doesn't embarrass me like it used to when I was a child. So now I just kind of let it go. Uh,
Yeah.
so I don't know where you're at that point, but I've gotten to the point where I just don't care what that looks like anymore. I'm just done.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I got an old mentor of mine. His name is Dick Snyder, who was in the book that I just written. We were having breakfast the other day, and he goes to me. I was pronouncing something wrong. He goes, and he sat there and he goes, John, and he. This is the way he always did to me. He was going through it, and he goes, here's the pronunciation. This is how it says, and he would take time, and he commented on it. And he goes like, you didn't really get mad at me doing that. I said, no, I just took it as just a lesson learned, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and he didn't do it viciously. He did it in a kind way. So I always took it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He
Yeah.
wasn't criticizing you, he was trying to help you be
Yeah.
better.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the past, I always took it as a criticism. So I never say much. And I always kept my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Now I just say it. And now if it comes out right, it comes out. Marie makes fun of it because she thinks it's funny. And I think it's funny sometimes, because it's just that, it comes a different tone and like, what? That doesn't make sense. So it's I think it's comical. I think it's funny. My kids loved it when, dad saying something stupid or like that.
John, it's
Yeah,
totally
that's not how you
endearing.
say that.
It's totally endearing. My husband does the same thing. And
Yeah.
with pronunciation, and men are notoriously bad spellers anyway, so the dyslexia, but people will be criticized for things that aren't even something that they struggle with or something they're born with.
Mhm.
I had a teenager. See, I'm Canadian American, and my pronunciation is all garbled up. My family was English, US, Canadian, da da da. So I pronounce things just differently. And I had this, I don't know where I was with this at some party. And I said, I don't know if I say, instead of saying, how do you pronounce Ben in American English?
Ben.
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 And I say bean. And this girl turned to me, and she was like this 16, 17-year-old girl. She goes, it's Ben. And I'm like, to you, but would you tell an English person, a person who speaks, has a British accent, that
Proper English.
it's car, not caw? And I'm like, I didn't just learn American English. So people are more than willing to, and that was just a little bit of snotty teenager stuff. And her mother was standing right there and was like, da 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 da. I'm like, hello? Hello, can you please chat with your child? No. Okay. So the fruit didn't fall very far from the tree in that
Yeah,
case.
exactly.
But you seem to be extremely you've assimilated it and you're working on it and you've been desensitizing yourself. How do you think you're doing now in the present moment?
I think I'm okay. I actually got a little nervous talking about it just now, so like now I'm coming down from that.
Oh,
The-
do you feel it, was it okay? You feel okay about
oh
it
yeah,
though?
it was good. Yeah,
Okay,
You want
good.
more
every
pressure?
new
More pressure? All right.
what was that?
I said, do you want more pressure on it?
Oh,
I mean, like we were gonna talk more about it.
No, I'm good.
Just
I'm good. I'm
kidding.
coming down from that one. I'm good.
now, do you possibly think that because that it maybe could subconsciously have contributed to, well, you also said just because of your dexterity, you didn't
Mm.
become a physician, but do you
Mm.
think it could have possibly led to your career in the behavioral sciences?
Yeah, I do
Your
think so. I do. Well, I also have ADHD, so when I started working with kids with autism, I was like, I get it. I get it. I get it. And I just kind of fell in love with that population. So that kind of led me to my my discipline because I finally felt like stumbled into something that was working and effective and helpful. And I was like, oh, well, that's really cool. So yeah, it kind of
But
did all lead
so when
to
you
that.
when you were working, sorry, when you worked with those children, I mean, obviously there was an easy entry because of your disability.
Mm.
So you saw that as probably an equal, more or less.
Yeah, and those kids don't make fun of my hand at all. They don't care.
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
Yeah.
And that I mean, gave you obviously confidence and all that, but
Yeah.
you think that's where, I mean, is that where you were feeling like this is how I was as a child, so I feel for them too, so I have a better understanding of what they're doing and
relatability.
Probably,
yeah, do you have that?
yeah, a lot of relatability to like other people expecting things from you and you maybe not doing them, or people dismissing your feelings about something as not valid,
Mm,
or like this isn't a big deal, but it is a big deal to them, whatever it is. Um, so yeah, I do think that I can relate in some ways that even if it's not a physical difference, I can understand like how different events kind of make you feel different, make you feel less than, or not accepted. The ableism in the world, I guess.
Yeah,
mm.
yeah,
Do you
exactly. When
find
you look
there?
at
Sorry, go ahead,
right,
John. Oh,
you're right though, like people who have the ability,
Hmm.
uh, they think of that world, like when you look at that world, you're like, oh my God, this person's really smart, they're athletic, they could do this, they could do that. I can't do that because I'm disabled.
Hmm.
And you're kind of like put yourself in a you automatically lower yourself from that expectation,
Right.
which is wrong to do, but that's how you were as a child. You always were comparing to those who can, how you can't. So you're comparing yourself.
Yeah.
And when you go into, because that's where I went into the world of nonprofit too. I started helping kids with disability. I actually was working in the field where helping those with disabilities to find jobs.
Oh, very cool.
That's where yeah.
mm,
So I got to go in a lot of facilities and things like that, which was it was more of a government job per se.
Uh-huh.
But um, that's where I felt comfortable because obviously they ain't gonna judge me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not gonna judge me,
They're
which
not.
was great. I mean, and they were so loving, they were so
Yeah.
welcoming. It was a different experience in total. So yeah, I get that. I
Hmm.
get it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
well,
So
do you find that that community of individuals, young people that you work with, are they more accepting and understanding of each other?
Yeah.
Like feel that you are in a safe space.
Yeah, in general, yes, yes. Now I'm working with adults with autism, and it's a little bit different in that, well, kids are just different than adults. But entering adult spaces is unique because by the time you're an adult, you have your kind of preferences and your the way you interact with the world. So not everyone is as accepting of other people's differences, but in general, yes, I think that people with autism or just neurodivergent populations or disabled populations are just generally more accepting than other populations I've worked with. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
when you get into your writing, are you, like you said, you're going to start mentioning that more? Is that something you're going to start talking about that as part of a platform of yours? And how does that go?
Yeah, so I don't know. So on Substack, in my Everyday Behaviorist publication, I have lots of little projects that I've kind of shared or started sharing. So I have pieces of my memoir, which I think is going to be a mosaic memoir, just different essays about different topics. And so those essays about my hand are in that.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
Wow.
Thank you. And so I've written a few of those. So I figured I would share some of those on Substack. But I have been just kind of interspersing the memoir with poetry and just new writing because that's why I like the new writing. All the old writing, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Maybe I'll get around to sharing it, but so yeah, I do want to
Or
talk
get
about my
back
hand
to
more.
it.
It's just hard to know where to start now that it's been a few years of this journey, and I've written a lot about it already. And so now my writing would be more like, I'm healed. No.
How did you find your way to Substack again? How did you find your way to Substack?
Oh,
And how long have you been there?
okay, those are good questions. So how did I find Substack? I think one of my colleagues introduced me to Substack, and because I had been writing a lot, I had been writing for years just on Facebook because it's that kind of that notes thing where it's just text, post, easy.
Where family and friends read it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, my friends read it, my colleagues, and I made it public, and so other people found me, and that was lovely. But then eventually I started, so I had this writing practice, like daily writing, and then I started having fiction pieces, and so I started getting weary. I was like, I don't know if I want to put these on Facebook, and then I started. And then my colleague was like, well, you could use Substack for that fiction. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I put it there. And then I was like, maybe I'll just move more of my writing to Substack. And so that's kind of what I did. And I think that was in February. And it was kind of a slow start because I did not understand Substack at all. It took probably till July until it clicked. But it was just like not making sense to me coming from Facebook and Instagram. And that was kind of my world, but yeah.
Have you found a community of mine like yours?
I think so. Yeah, I found some really good people on here. Some really supportive friends.
Good.
Yeah, and you're one of them. And
Isn't he? He found me too. So
yeah, he's pretty
yay, John.
amazing. And so yeah, I'm finding a good community. I'd love to do something like you do where you write about other people and lift other people up. I think that's just so amazing.
Thank you, but it is time consuming. I'm learning I have to dial back a little bit because it was consuming me big time. So
all that interviewing and collaboration, I mean, your articles are extremely comprehensive. So you take your time to get to know someone. Like I've said, since you did one on me, that you totally nailed me, and you just can't, talk to someone for just a couple of days and go, got it, got him.
Pretty uncanny.
Pretty uncanny. That's a very good word. Uncanny.
Yeah. So thank you.
No, he's flattered. He lives in there.
He's blushing a little bit.
Anyways, let's move on.
carry on before John
Yeah.
has to leave,
But,
has
you know,
to go off stage.
that's one of the things I don't do well is take compliments. I try.
You must learn that. I was whipped into a frenzy by someone because I couldn't do it either. You know, I was performing so much and people would come in, oh, it was so good, blah, blah, blah. Oh, thank you. No, it's, oh,
Yeah.
thanks. You know, like, what is wrong with you? It's your talent, it's your ingenuity, it's your ideas, it's the way you know, it's express yourself, it's helping other people. You're
Yeah.
not like, yeah, I'm just the best thing that ever happened. And look out, world. Here, John Ronaldo's coming and nobody else can hold a candle to me. You're not like that at all. You're very humble in being as talented as you are. Own it. Own it.
Yeah, so writing those long format, I decided to write for long format probably about a year ago because I really wanted to make sure I told a story because sometimes the story didn't really come out the way I wanted to, because I needed to add. So that's why that came out. And now I'm going down to 3 days because the 5 days was just way too much.
Brutal.
It was
Yeah.
I was trying to, and I wasn't giving each story justice, and it didn't give it enough time to breathe and allow people to see it. And I also think that was probably some of my problems with Substack, because I was publishing 5 days a week and it didn't really resonate. And because when I look at other stories, they were popping up, you know, like 30, 40 likes or something like that. And mine were kind of like still sitting at the 20 level, which I'm grateful for that. But, you know, I also want to get
Everyone.
exposure. So that was one of the reasons why I kind of changed my format. And also want to devote time to podcast. And I got some other things I'm working on that I kind of want to start doing. So that's sort of my strategy behind that. So the everyday behavioralist, is that also, like you said, you didn't do your memoir, or is that all your memoirs under in that
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was kind of the handle that I chose in the beginning 4 years ago. And so I just stuck with that. Was the first thing I made on Substack. And so I just stuck with that as my eclectic kind of, I put my memoir in there. I have fiction stories. I have.
So they're going to be all commingled in that category, or are you going to separate those out?
No, they're all commingled in there right now. I thought of separating them out once I understood what publications were, which took me a little while.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Like, oh, that's what I should have done. Oh.
So you know what? That's a good thing. I think a lot of people don't know that. So the publication. So this is the reason why I want to start doing more of different type of writing. I'm trying to write books, right? So I use Substack to write books. So I used to create a publication, and then I would say, okay, under this publication will be all the storyline of that, and that would be my first draft, more or less. And I would publicize it, and I would leave that publication on there, and I would create publications. And then I would archive it when I was doing the book. And then I published the book. But people got to read it on site. So that's one of the benefits of doing that in Substack, where you can actually name a category if you're going to start writing, organize it, and you say, okay, this publication is all going to be this devoted to this. And then if you decide to put that in a book, you could turn that over and say, okay, I'm going to put it into a book. I'm going to archive this one here so I can start selling my book, or whatever you do with it.
Yeah.
So just to share some tricks that I've learned over the years.
And that's what I was doing with Behavior Curious, because people were like, oh, so you're telling us about behaviorism and everyday behaviorist. And I was like, actually, no, I'm just writing from my point of view as a behaviorist. And so then I was like, well, I guess I could write more pedantic kind of teachy stuff about behaviorism, and maybe I could fill in like a little niche or a gap that we don't have.
Yeah.
And so that's why I started Behavior Curious. I was like, I can tease out some ways to talk about this stuff that's kind of more teachy, but also lay friendly. And so that's what that is. Like, maybe it'll turn into a book, I'm hoping. Then I realized,
I love that.
thank you.
I love that, because I'm as I mentioned before, such a student of my own behavior, which ends up making me a student of other people's behavior, which you
Yeah.
have no control over.
Yeah.
But then that helps you understand yourself better too.
Yes.
So I find that to be for people like us,
Yeah.
to be really important type of publication.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Sure.
That was the idea with that. But and so now I'm thinking like it would be nice to have one for my memoir, and then I could just put it all there and fade that back. But I really don't want to overwhelm people. I feel like I'm already like a little ping pong ball all over the place. But
Yeah,
figuring
I
it out.
understand that. I get that. I have so
Yep.
my two main ones are the daily inspirations, and I got in remembrance. I'm an historian, so I like writing about history. So in remembrance, I'll put and they get published simultaneously. Like I don't do two at the same time. I'll do each every other day or something like that. Or if I have something historical, I'll write it and I'll put it as in remembrance because it's just more of a history thing.
Mhm.
Daily inspiration is anything that I don't think is going to categorize to either one of them. And even in daily inspirations, what I find out is there might be something I've been writing on a little bit here and there. And I was like, you know what, that should go in its own publication, and that create a whole new publication. So it's just when you're writing, and this is just my experience, when you write and you're writing constantly about stuff, you start seeing a rhythm and you start seeing a connection between each story. And you're like, you know what? There's something we need to talk about here. And then what I love about Substack is that you get an instant feedback. Hey, this is hitting home for me. This is hitting home for me. And you know, if one or two people are feeling something, there's going to be 10 more that feel that way too. So it just gives you a validation to continue to write that piece or that topic or that cause or that direction. And that's how I use Substack in a lot of ways. So
Yeah. And that's kind of how I use it too, as well. For my new pieces, I'm like, does this hit? Like, is this something that's interesting? And then for my old pieces, I kind of want that interactive feedback, like, especially for my memoir, when people were like, oh, this really hit home for me. I'm like, okay, good, because I wasn't sure as a standalone essay. And then that's my other question is like, it's a standalone essay, cool, but as the book, are you going to like it more or less? Like, you know, people are getting like
That's good reflection.
small. Yeah. I don't know. So
That's good reflection. I also like when I post something and someone makes their comment about it and says, and dot dot, this is my experience, or to add on to that, or
yeah.
to contribute to that, to expand on what you just said. And then you've got this dialogue, almost, kind of like collaboration
Yeah.
going between you and someone else, you and a couple of other people. And to me, that's what Substack is all about. There's so much in my sphere, and I watch and read what people are interacting with John. There's this kind of collaborative spirit, and I that's why I love being on Substack, and I've all but abandoned the other two that I work on. So I know several people who I was on a podcast last week, and she said, yeah, this is home. This is my home. This is it. And she's doing exceptionally well. But I'm happy here. I love my subscribers. People are, reading me, following me, listening to me, and I'm doing that with them.
That's great.
have you dealt with anybody bullying you or trolling you on Substack at all?
I had a couple in the beginning that were a little uncomfortable, but I sorted through them, and so no, not really. Knock on wood. Oh goodness.
What did you,
No,
what
there's
did you do? Did you block them? Or
She sorted them out. I sorted them out.
I think by that I mean one of them I told and I talked to about it, and it turned out it was a misunderstanding, and then the other person I just had to block because it was not not friendly. It's like, that's not why I'm here. And then I've had a couple messages of the men who want to treat it as a dating site. And I'm like, yeah, also
Hello.
not why I'm here. But not too much. So yeah.
No.
It's-
Compared
Sounds
to
like
the others I'm
Yeah.
not going to even give them a platform, but others that I've been on and left, and
Yeah.
the amount of just glomming on and
Mhm.
fake accounts or guys looking for a hookup and all that is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I don't
for
know
sure.
about women looking for a hookup, John. Our experiences.
oh no, I get
John,
those.
no,
I get
John 8452764 dash
no, I get
exclamation.
them on Substack.
Oh,
I get
there
them
you
on
go.
Substack. Yeah. Yeah, they'll start asking.
How old
I
are
had
you?
one.
Where do you live?
I had one the other day, and I was like, "Look, I'm not interested in my relationship later, right?" And and so I said, "So what do you?" So they asked me what I did for a living or something like that. I didn't say much. And I said, "Well, what do you do?" And they talked about they're in the stock market. They're a professional broker, and I was like, "Okay."
Sure you
So what
are.
about
You're
what,
right.
what about CPI? What about CPI? And they're CPI is coming out this Friday. What do you think, right? And a generic question answer, right? And I was like, that's AI an answer, right? And I looked it up, and it was obviously an AI answer, and I was like, I ignore.
You
So I
made
was
them
like,
sweat. You made them sweat, and they went to
yeah,
Chat GPT. Oh my gosh, good
yeah.
answer.
What's CPI? It was funny.
That's funny.
That was an
Oh
index
my gosh.
for marketing. But here I got a question from Juliana. She said,
Hi, Juliana.
how do you work with those kids that have a high vigilance, on the differences and help
I see Chat.
them build confidence? Uh,
Ooh,
here.
that's a good question. So I don't work with kids anymore. So just wanted to be clear about that. I did kind of start my career that way and did that for a couple of decades. But okay, so high vigilance on their differences and help them build confidence. I'm not entirely sure if I understand that question, but building confidence, I'd say, is the job of multiple people in a person's life. So everyone that has contact with them just kind of has to be on it about the types of words they're offering them in terms of like supportive phrasing and um, praising and things like that. So one thing interesting in research that we found is that like generic praise, like good job or terrific, is not as effective as you're a good person. I really like how you worked on this. Like way to be adulting. That's something I say now. I don't say that to kids, but so the more specific your praise, the more likely you are to kind of build that confidence in them and give them something
Right.
to repeat back and say about themselves. And so, so yeah, those are some ways that kind of help build.
So when we were doing, so we had a lot of these, and we had a lot of people that we worked with, and some of the organizations we all know is like Easter Seal,
Mhm.
the Goodwill, like, and there's a lot of them in your community that you're not aware of, but they are there.
Yeah.
And one of the things that autism kids, one of the things that we always thought that were great was their repetition all the time.
Mhm. Yeah.
And they would master something really, really fast. But there was an interesting thing that I learned through that process. We did janitorial as one of the services. A person with autism, you couldn't just give them, say, here's a bathroom, go clean it.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that because they would self-destroy themselves. They'd go into like into a corner and start crying. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that literally, that's what they'll do because they're just confused. And one of the things that these job coaches that they would do is they would teach them to start in a corner and say, okay, this is where we start. And then boom, because repetition, that's what they needed.
Yeah.
Consistency, that's what they needed. Okay, I do this. This is what I use here. This is the cloth I use here. This is what, like, they'll start going
Break
through
it
that
down.
bathroom Yeah. And that bathroom is probably a lot more spick and span than anybody else can.
Attention to
It was,
detail, because
Yeah.
detail
they were
is
very detailed.
Yeah.
Now I tell you this though, so remember, this is a job coach situation, so we're always looking for people to bring on their staff full time. But we always warn them that, hey, if you bring this person on, you need a job coach. And they say, oh, not a problem. And then employers will employ them, give them a great benefit, all that stuff. And then within 6 months or within 2 weeks, it's not working anymore.
No job.
It's destroyed. The relationship is gone because the kid has no interest in showing up anymore because of all that. So when we were in there, we're cautious of, like, we set the expectations. We didn't want to go. We talked to the owners. We talked to people. We made sure they understood. And I think and people with disability, they're not looking for praising. They're looking for recognition.
Mhm.
Like, I have a purpose. I can do this.
Yeah.
And the more they do that, that is way, way more powerful than saying, yeah, attaboy.
Yeah.
It's like they feel they got something, and saying, wow, you did a really great job on that. I'm like, wow, like, and explain why you did a good
Yeah.
job. And
Yeah.
they take that in as a great thing. So
Mhm.
they've made a contribution. They feel like they're making a contribution
Yeah.
and adding to this circumstance, this situation, this job. They're adding to it instead of feeling like
Absolutely.
they're being consistently monitored. I go to a theme park with my son, and one of the parking attendants is on the spectrum, and she's absolutely the sweetest woman. And yesterday, I have a handicap sticker, and I transferred it to my other car, and I'd forgotten it. And so I drove up, and I still had the sticker that they had given me for the previous time I'd gone. And I rolled down my window, because most of the time they won't. They're like, just keep moving, lady. And I said, may I ask you a question? And I left my placard, and I need to park closer. And you can see I have the blue sticker. And she said, oh, yeah. She took the cone away that was cordoning off the first row. She goes, I know you. I trust you. And I've seen you before. And
Mhm.
she just expedited that
Nice.
I would have an easier time in being in a better parking space. And it made her so full to be of service and to be
Yeah.
helpful. I mean, so
Yeah.
much more demonstrative than anybody else would be. Yeah, yeah, just tell it walking,
Yeah.
but she could tell I was being honest and not
Uh-huh.
trying to get over on her, and to tell her a story.
Right. Right.
That astute recognition of people being real.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's a really good way to put it. It's that they do seem to have this uncanny ability to just find, like, any insincerity. Like, if you're kind of just superficially praising versus those real statements, like you're saying, honesty, and like John was saying, like the actual description of what's valuable.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I find that.
So I got a funny story. So we were doing a project, and it didn't. We were trying to build somebody up, trying to build this community up, and so we had a new project. We were working through it. It was just very, very hands-on project, and so there was a guy named Jose, and we got to know him very well. It was about a year project that I was working with him, and I'd show up almost every day, I'd say, hi, how you doing? I might bring some snacks or something like that for them just to have, or a bottle of water, because it was really hot. And then the project ended, and obviously I went away, and then everybody else kind of did their own things, and he went back to his own assignments. And it was like 2 years later, something like that, 2 years later, I come walking into the facility, and we're talking about something completely different. And all I hear, and we were in a big warehouse, and I was on one side, he's on the other side. He goes, oh my God, look who came back. He comes running. How did you do this to me? Why would you do this to me? Why didn't you come visit? You know that I
Oh,
love you. What's going on?
oh,
How's family? He starts going this whole, like, it's like a lost friend, and
oh.
yeah, it was actually wrote about him, and that was kind of like the thing. That's it didn't matter how bad your day was. You walk in those facilities and you just felt loved. It didn't matter. You just felt great. You felt loved. You felt like, okay, I'm doing something. And that was the beautiful part of working in that job. The rest of it I didn't like, but that was the best part.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue. I want to ask Jennifer, this is the community, which is diverse in neurodivergency,
Mhm.
but they don't seem to develop this facade, this desire or ability to for subterfuge or facade or kind of I don't know if I want to say dishonesty, but putting on a face.
Right. Yeah.
Can you speak to that at all, of the
Um,
fact that they're so transparent and on? I mean, they will be honest to a fault, just like
right.
children. Little children will say, what happened to your hair? I don't like your haircut. Or, why did you say, I heard you down the hall, you said a bad word. Or how
Mhm.
come you left Uncle John? There's just so transparent and just honest to a fault.
Yeah. Well, I think it's amazing and an amazing quality for us to adapt to, like the rest of the world. I'm in the neurodivergent bucket, so I also have that hard time faking it. But I also did a lot of faking it for my life, just like masking. What we call it, masking. So just trying to fit
Mm-hmm.
in.
Mm-hmm.
But there is that, I think once people start realizing, like, oh, this is masking, oh, I'm just trying to fit in, and then it starts to kind of fall away because it feels just inauthentic, and like, oh, I'm just not going to give energy to that anymore. um, but a lot of the people I work with they don't do much masking, and I find that really something amazing because they just don't seem to care, and I don't actually know where that comes from. Maybe just a different valuing of like social interactions, or maybe just feeling like they just don't have to. They can be themselves, and I don't know. I don't actually know where that comes from. I admire it though.
Do
And
less filtering,
yeah,
because we
less
all
filtering,
filter.
not a lot of masking. Um,
Right.
I,
When I
yeah,
was younger, we used to call that plastic people.
plastic people.
Oh, plastic
Mhm.
people.
I see those a lot. I grew up around a lot of those. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
in entertainment for a long time. I met a few of those
I
too.
bet you did.
Yeah. Sorry. No, as they
Yeah.
say, no cap. I can't slang. Oh, come on. I've tried to use slang.
Okay.
No, no cap. I don't get what it means, but I think I used it right. On these people, not trying to, besmirch them. That's more in my lexicon. To besmirch people in entertainment, but
Yeah.
sometimes it is what it is, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, what else should we talk about? Do you have an upcoming project? I think John mentioned you just mentioned you're in the process of a book, or what's coming
Yeah.
up next for you?
Well, so I have a lot of different projects, and I'm not an author by trade or a writer. Like, I was never trained. I love your cup, by the way.
Mm.
It's great.
And, what else?
But so I've been just kind of looking for my lowest hanging fruit. I thought it might be a children's book. I'm finding out that it's not, probably not a
Oh,
children's book. It's because I'm not an illustrator. If I was also an illustrator, that would help. But so I don't know. So I have this memoir that I'm still working on. I have a couple of children's book, kind of the storyline written. And then I have Behavior Curious, that book in progress. So I was just kind of like feeling out like what is my lowest hanging fruit that I could publish first, because I've never published anything that's not academic. So
Mm.
yeah, that's kind of where I am right now, just kind of feeling things out. And then some days I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just going to write something new because why not?
So on Substack, who are you following? Like, what are your favorite other than Kaz and I? Like,
We
Gosh.
just met. Don't put that
yeah.
pressure on her yet.
So, like, who are you following? Like, what are the ones that you like out there? You're reading, and
Okay.
then on 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 notes, what are the things are you posting about? Is it going to be more about your everyday behavioralist, or what's that going to be more of?
Okay, so let me take the first one, the first question. So the people I follow, obviously both of you, but outside of you, Joe Nichols was
Thank you.
one of the first people I found, and so he's been pretty helpful, and always just super pleasant. All the people that he's connected me with. One of my dear friends, MJ Polk, who is one of my like first OG friends here. I follow him. He has a great Substack, Stories from the Jukebox, which he has
Oh,
prompts
I
like
love that.
writing about songs. And so that has connected me with a lot of different people. Primal Beat, Javier Mixco, like just a lot of different people who write different kinds of things, fiction, nonfiction, poems. I really like the Life Lessons, who you introduced me to. Oh, there's just so many. It's hard off the top of my head. Meredith Forder, Vedic Soul.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I also
Yeah.
have like some spiritual people I follow. So all my little special interests kind of align here. Yeah. And so notes, oh gosh, I was telling Kaz when I think that maybe you got kicked off for a little bit that I have a hard time deciding what goes in notes and posts. And sometimes I'll just put something in notes because it's easy. Yeah, but in general, in notes, I like to do haiku, and then I'll just write something under it, like behavioral psychologist, blah, 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 something related to the haiku.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do a little poem. The other day I wrote a whole essay that was on accident. I just started writing, and I was like, I'm just gonna hit post.
Just
So
channel it. Just channel
yeah,
it.
if you follow my notes, you just be a little patient and be like, okay, Jennifer's just all right. That data point was out there, but she'll get back on track.
She's treated like Facebook.
Yeah, she's treated like Facebook. Yeah, just we'll help her get back on track, or just yeah.
So is it fair to say Substack has kind of like defined you a little more better than
Yeah.
other social medias
Yes.
platforms?
Substack has helped me find more of like my writing voice, and it's definitely helped me connect with other writers who know what they're doing. It's
Yeah.
helped me learn a lot about the writing process indirectly and directly, because people write about writing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's definitely made me feel more of a writer than just like someone who wakes up before work and posts something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So what's a one lesson learned that you can share with anybody else that you think it's the most valuable thing you learned on Substack?
That one valuable thing I've learned on Substack, oh gosh, is that there are some very supportive people out there. Very,
Okay.
very supportive strangers who you never would have expected. Sometimes you just think you're alone, and you're just alone writing these things that nobody cares about. But then somebody will come along and is like, wow, that's amazing. I really love this. And that's really special. So, yeah. That's
Cool.
Absolutely. Yep.
And
You
that's
nailed it.
what the community is about, is to help each other along the way, because
Yeah.
we're all vulnerable one way or another. We're all here. We're all writing about vulnerable stuff, authentic stuff, raw stuff, some emotional stuff, and sometimes some fun stuff and all that, and all the in-betweens.
Yeah.
And, I think as a writers, when we do this, it's not as, we understand each other better, I guess, because we're in that vulnerable situation. So it's easier to hand out a hand, other than going on another social media where they don't really care about you, other than,
Mhm.
we want more likes.
Right.
Because we want
Unless you're
money.
shuffling, learn
Yeah.
how to shuffle.
Yeah. But I think that's where, and and I and I like to tell the story. When I started here, we didn't have notes, we didn't have podcasts. You had to
Wow.
go and dig your own people and bring them on over to Substack, and people are like, "Who is Substack? What's that?" And it was like it was the old days of Substack, and very 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 basic. It was just a blog site. That's all. It was a professional blog site. That was it. And you had to go out and drag people over into Substack. Now that Notes is there, it's actually helped the subscriber base because now people are seeing other writers in Excel. That's why it's so important to be on Notes. And what you're doing on Notes is important because you're going to find more of your tribe and you're going to narrow it more down. And the more you narrow it down, it's going to be better that way for you long run, because now you can start creating collaboration is really important. That's number one. Number two, that's, one of the things I like to do is collaborate with people. Some people are like, well, why are you adding me as a co-author? And I was like, because it helps you.
Yeah.
It helps you, and it actually puts it on your post, and it helps you get more attention. So the thing I like to do is if you're collaborating with people, you might be a bigger account than someone you're working with. That's another way of helping someone lift up and move on. And I think the more all of us are kind of like raised up together, we all benefit from it as a community or a village or whatever I call it. And that's where we all benefit. Now, there's going to be times where you might come across an account where they just talk down on you or trash you. Obviously, they're not going to last very long in that scope of what I was trying to explain.
Yeah.
But collaboration is really big if you can do that. So that's some of the things I'm just passing along.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate all the tips.
Yeah. And you don't have to do it all at one time. You should do it. You should do it at your pace, not at something like. Obviously, when I'm doing it, I've perfected what I needed to do, so I know how to do that in a very good, quick way. So
Yeah,
that's good. I'm happy people are coming out there and helping you. That's great.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Thank
hard going out on your own. I mean, even a golfer has a caddy and,
Yeah.
all of that. It just when you feel like you're an island, but you're not really.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by a lot of people and you are connected to the mainland. And it
Yeah.
just evolves. I mean, I just came up on being on Substack for 4 months and I'm very content. I'm content with how I say I'm not so scheduled like John. If I feel like posting 7 days in the week, I do it. And then some weeks I'm like one article. And I know that my subscribers are, well, you get them used to how much you are posting, so they know maybe when something's going to pop out. But I don't know, maybe I just want to keep them guessing and keep them
Yeah.
yeah, how can you miss me if I don't go away, you know?
Yeah.
You're such an abuser to your readers.
I am. I'm so nasty to them. Oh my gosh, no. They are so freaking great. I mean, it is just the dialogue that we get into. And that's the other thing. We just have sometimes, and I can be off the wall. Let's face it, people, we all know this, but I find people that we humor each other, we banter, we start bouncing off of each other. There's one guy who writes satire, and I just love him, Bill Yun, and he's writing satire, and we can just have this little party of bouncing satire off of each other. And I absolutely haiku. I mean, I
Yeah.
love haiku. Dear friend of mine, who actually was my son's Manny when I lived in Vancouver. Um, he writes sustainability papers. I mean, it's really on the ecology of South America, and it's so labor intensive and sometimes extremely dry. And he has these papers published, and how he gets out of that head, that mindset, and expands himself is he is a consummate haiku writer. I mean, he sticks to all the rules of haiku, the timbre of it. But he doesn't write senryu. Senryu is a cousin of haiku, but it's darker and more humorous, where haiku is like you have to have a cutting word and all this kind of stuff. And he would humor me when I wrote haiku. He'd say, yeah, you're not quite there. And then the next 3 or 4 or 7 tries, good job. I'm like, you're just humoring me, aren't you? He said, yeah, we need to get on to you writing something else. But yeah, you said you wrote haiku, and I love to read it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I'll take all the notes because I don't know about all of
I have
those
no
words.
notes on haiku. I'm just trying to keep my nose above water when I write them, but I find them fascinating. And in 3 sentences,
Mhm.
5
Yeah,
syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables,
yeah,
you
I
say
love it.
something just that can be so profound.
So who's your favorite? Like, what are you reading something right now that you can share with us and let everybody know? And oh, has she frozen? Oh, I think she froze.
Are you there, Jennifer? Oh boy. Uh oh, she's
Yeah,
back. Are you back?
yeah, she froze. Okay.
Oh, Wi-Fi technology. Like I said at the beginning of the show, technology, we're at the mercy of it. Last week it was much worse, but people's Wi-Fi, I have trouble sometimes with my signal, and it
Yeah,
happens.
she froze.
You know what?
Yeah.
It makes it makes it a little bit exciting. You never know what can happen with John Rinaldo and Kaz Akers on Stories, Soul Work, and Substack. We may have a surprise guest that we weren't expecting, or the guest may just drop off.
But I'm getting tired of this. I really want the technology to go away. But anyways, well, we'll make it work.
We will.
So
We will.
we kind of want to say hi and thank you for everybody here. Just want to kind of go through. I'm going to
Yes,
name a few
please,
people.
please.
Jenny Lynn,
Jenny,
Juliana, Zoo. I don't know if I
Juliana
pronounced
is
it.
here. You are
Oh,
such a wonderful.
yeah.
I'm a-
Oh, you're
Ah,
back.
she's
We're
back.
just doing
We were
some.
just
We're
reading.
just doing some.
Thank
Um,
Thanks.
yous.
Sorry, I could hear you, and you were like, "Oh no, she's gone," and I was like, "I'm here."
we just saw a big picture of a big face with a big, huge smile with your hand waving.
Oh
I'm just
yeah.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, we were just thanking the wonderful people who have been here. I
Oh
love to
yeah.
thank our viewers, because they are the reason we could just do this, just the 3 of us, to nobody. We'd still have fun, but not as much fun, I don't
Right.
think.
So I want to know a couple things. 2 things. What author do you? What is more of your writing style? Who do you like as authors? That's number
Uh-huh.
1. Number 2, is there a book right now that you're reading that you think other people should read?
Okay, so I'll answer in reverse. I'm currently reading Dear Writer by Maggie Smith, which I'm really
Mm,
enjoying. Yeah, she's teaching me a lot. And she
Okay.
apparently she used to have a Substack. I looked for it, but I couldn't find it. Um,
really?
yeah, so maybe she did the same thing that you did, John, where she had the book and then archived it when she had the book. I don't know,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
But I'd say, oh, gosh, I have so many influential authors. I mean, for the past decade or more, I've been very immersed in my field. So most of my reading has been like academic kind of that. But my non-academic favorite writers are people like Carl Hyacin, Margaret Atwood, Tom Robbins, Maya Angelou. Gosh, who else comes to mind? I've got a whole, let's see. So many. I've got so many. I'm awful with names. But those are some of my top people. I like a mix of different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
What about
And
you,
I've
John?
been
You've
reading,
never, you,
you might be interested in this, Kaz. I've been reading a book on Ramana Maharshi for about a year now. It's like a stories about his life. And so I read
yes.
one story a week, or I try to read one story a week. So yeah, that's one of my favorites too, because I'm just
Oh,
fascinated
wow.
with
I
him.
have not read that one, but I will look for that one.
Yeah, I think it's like the
Yeah.
life of Ramana Maharshi. Yeah, something like
Mhm,
that.
It's awesome.
mhm.
And what are the lessons learned from that book? What are you learning from that book that you think
Oh
could
gosh.
benefit?
Oh gosh.
It's
Well,
so expansive.
if you could
So
just go live
expansive.
in an
What's the one
ashram,
thing?
it
What's the one
sounds like
thing?
life will be better.
Oh,
That's my
gotcha.
takeaway. No, but I just I get so much from his philosophy. Was just uh, the one meditative practice that I really enjoy, or not the one, but one, is asking myself that question, who am I? And in his teachings, just to, if you repeat that to yourself and just let everything else fall away, you'll experience nirvana, or whatever his term for it was, maybe enlightenment. But I haven't, maybe I've had a couple of glimpses of, in those in those meditative moments, but I'm definitely no sage.
Gotcha.
It's a lifelong
Well, that's
process.
cool.
It's not, I have a Buddhist nun made this beautiful uh, kind of picture for me with just bamboo and canvas, and she did calligraphy, and it
Uh-huh.
says every step of the journey is the journey.
Uh-huh.
So looking at it from a non-destination point of view, it's just all a journey.
Yeah, yeah. And I've lately been into like Joan Tollefson's work, and she talks a lot about how you're not on an improvement process, or it's not like self-improvement. It's more just acceptance, becoming, understanding that this is all part of the journey. And I like that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good. So, do you have any publications this week that you're gonna be or the one Saturday was the only one this week? Are you planning on putting another one up?
Yeah, I had another one coming up for Behavior Curious that has been a little bit challenging to come up with my next post. Because like I said, I was thinking it would become a book. And so then I put all the pressure on myself. And but I think I have another one in store for that publication this week on,
Okay.
misunderstanding.
Do you want to share a little bit of that?
Yeah, I
Or
think
you
it's
kind
going
of
to be on misunderstandings or misconceptions about behaviorism, because I think that
Mm,
there's a lot
mm.
that people don't know or understand or appreciate, or just a lot that I encounter in everyday life. So that was what it was going to be on. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll look for that one for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, where can they get your books and things like that?
Well,
Is it on Amazon?
future books, they will be able to get on Amazon for
Oh, future
sure.
books. Oh, I thought you had a book.
Scholarly
I'm sorry.
articles they can find on Google Scholar, I guess.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I have a website, everydaybehaviorist.com, where if you were so inclined to read some of my previous stuff, a lot of that is my memoir, what I'm pulling from those blog posts.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And your website is
Everydaybehaviorist.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where else can they find you?
On Substack.
On Substack?
And basically on Substack these days. I had an Instagram, and I still do Facebook occasionally, but I think Substack is mostly where my writing journey is focused now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having me on. It was so much fun.
Thank you. It's been
So
a
much fun.
Thank you
complete
for coming on.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I did have products to sell, but one day I will.
Next time. Next time.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah,
You don't have to have products to sell. We just want to. The reason why we ask, and I want to make sure that everybody understands what we're trying to do here is, I have a big believer that if you do have books on Amazon, I want to have people to go and do reviews, because more people that hype that book up after you hit a 25 comment, that book becomes a popular book online, and it becomes a high seller.
Nice.
And it's not just to help you out, but it helps everybody else out if everybody takes the moment to go do a book review. And the more people do that, the better it is for our community, because that's one way of supporting each other.
Yeah.
And then once that book hits over 25 comments and everybody's seeing those comments, then all of a sudden that goes into another tier, and then it becomes a popular book on Amazon and it just jumps up.
Nice.
So that's the reason behind I do that. And I think it's important because we're all writers. We're all trying to help each other. Why not write a review for somebody to do that and go from there? So that's one of the things I like to see happen in this community. So that's why I preach, and hopefully people will take on to that and do that. That's what I'm hoping. So yeah. Anyways, we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And we look forward to seeing you again, maybe with another book.
I would love
right?
that.
And thank you sharing your abilities with us.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them disability, they're abilities.
Thank you for letting me share. It was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's something I didn't know about, so thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I probably did know about it, but I didn't really connect it. So, but thank you. And and interested in reading her story, it's on her Substack about the tree. It's very beautifully written. It had her poem. It kind of hit me in a way. So so thank you. And thank you, Kaz, for being here.
Thank you, John, as always.
Thank you for another episode here. And thank you,
To all our
everybody out there.
viewers.
To all our viewers. Someone talked about Godfather. I'm not bringing that up now.
That's done. We're on to spoons, and I have something else I'm sure next week. So what's your favorite spoon? Write me and tell me.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Hang on, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
See you next week for
Thanks for listening to Stories, Soul Work, and Substack. We're so glad you're here.
Hey,
if today's
you
story
there?
made you think,
Yes.
smile, or feel something, share it with someone who needs a little light. You can find us anywhere you love to listen, on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other streaming platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to Kaz and John's Substack for updates, behind-the-scene notes, and upcoming guests. Keep writing your truth, keep doing your soul work, and remember, your story matters.